going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on the channel. This is my biggest video I've ever made in my life. Today, guys, this morning we're going to be going down to the Gateshead Stadium to go interview Gateshead captain and Adam Campbell. It's wild, so thank you to the media manager for making this all possible. If it wasn't for him, this couldn't have happened. Yeah, but it's going to be filmed for a video as well, so you guys will get to see the full interview, because we're going to be going down to the stadium to interview them and ask them some questions. So yeah, make sure you guys like, subscribe if you're new around here, but if you have not yet to subscribe, then make sure you go do that, because this video is going to be wild. But let's go to the stadium. Come on! So,
yes, all good.
Good game last night.
Very good, yeah. Good win against League 2 teams.
Yeah.
Really positive, and coming into the season starting next week, it's really good.
Yeah. So, so far in your career, what is your favourite goal that you've scored?
Favourite goal? Probably my first one for Gateshead. The way it made head in my first start. Going back 5 years now. Chipped the keeper. Probably my favourite one.
Okay. How does it feel to be the captain of Gateshead? What does it mean to you?
I've been captain now. It's my 3rd year coming up, so I'm immensely proud to be captain. To lead the team that I probably support now. It's like it's my the team that I support, so it is. It's really I feel so proud just to work out every game and the front, and I feel I'm getting better at being a captain. It's my job to know everyone, know all the players, and obviously I'm the link between the coaching staff and the players, so it's quite a lot on our shoulders, but I enjoy it.
So, of course, you played against Newcastle, what does it mean to the club financially to get the money from the ticket sales from Newcastle? What does it mean to the club?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the exact figures around it, but it is genuinely huge. Obviously the Sunday game as well was similar. But it is huge. We need days like that where we can have some surplus money come in, and again, how the club uses it, it's not for me to know or understand, but it's so important, especially in pre-season, just before the season starts.
So, who inspired you to want to play football?
It's a good question. Mum and Dad never really played football, but I was always playing from a really young age. Since I could walk, I think my mum always says I'd kick my football. I just remember watching Real Madrid when I was younger, the Galacticos, and I think it was probably Luis Figo was probably the one that I watched and thought I really enjoyed watching him play football.
Yeah. So, what is your aim to achieve this season?
I think the general consensus around the club is we want to get promoted. If that means we win the league, then that's the easiest way to do it. But if it happens, then we finish in the playoffs, and we'll try and go that route, and then we'll finish as high as possible.
Yeah. So, what do you love about the club?
The club? I love a lot of stuff. I think it's just a really community-based club. For me to be, like you say, just sat here now with you, you're a fan. The club's so close between the fan base, the players, the staff. It's all really tight-knit, and I think you don't get that very often in clubs. So I think that's the thing that I love the most, is that we're all very close and we all want the same goal, and I think we can all agree on that we're working in the same direction.
Yeah. So, of course, pre-season is going really well so far. You can see that the tactics is switchable a lot. I can see that you attack a lot more. Is that something that Mike's told you about?
Yeah, kind of. Obviously, we're trying to do what Mike tells us, and he's been trying to build on that for the last 2 or 3 years. So gradually we are going to get better at it. And this season, I think you'll see, especially pre-season, we've scored a lot of goals against some good teams as well. So I think maybe we've struggled on that part the last couple of years, and I think that's the little boost that we needed to probably get promoted, hopefully.
So, this is quite a good question. Who dresses the best and the worst in the club?
We never really see each other in normal clothes, apart from when we go for food or something like that. So it's a really good question. I'm going to go Lewis Knight. He's the worst, yes. And the best, I'll say Ed Francis. Ed Francis is the best, yeah.
Ed dresses quite well.
Yeah.
So, what is your most memorable moment as a great player?
I think I'd always say Wembley, even though we got beat. I think that was the best, the most memorable day for me as a player as a whole, to be honest, not just a gator. Just playing there and leading the team out was really surreal, and I loved every minute of it.
So, who are you most looking to play in home or away this upcoming season?
It's always nice to play Hartlepool again. I've never actually played at Victoria Park, so I'm looking forward to playing there, which is quite early in the season. But I think we're all excited about Chesterfield. I think they're the team that's going to be the favourites to win the league, and I think that's the one I'm looking forward to most. So obviously that's the biggest challenge.
Who do you think is going to win the league? Yeah, obviously. So, of course, Olley Thompson, he's been absolutely fantastic with how he's developed last season and over pre-season. Are you proud of him, and what do you think his future looks like?
Yeah, he's getting better and better every time he comes on the pitch. Training, he's doing really well. He's a really good listener, and he tries to learn as much as he can from Mike and Dustin. So he is only going to get better, and he has got a really bright future ahead of him. If we can just nail down the small things and learn as much as he can and take on board things that Mike and Dustin want to do, I think he's got every chance of being a really good player.
Yeah. So, what made you want to join Greenside in the first place?
Good question. I left home. I didn't really have any options, to be honest. Steve Watson said come in on trial. And then my first game, I scored a hat-trick on the pitch, and ever since that, I just kind of not looked back. And at the time we were in this league at that point, but it was a big club, and people don't realise how big we are, being right in the middle of Newcastle and Sunderland. But it's a club that I've
Yeah, so of course, the fan base, it's really good. What does it mean to the players to have all these fans who come down for the games and support you all?
we obviously really appreciate every fan that comes to any game. Obviously home fans, we'd love more to come and get involved as well. Like the fan base is starting to turn towards kids as well, and I think at your age you see more and more, and I think that's great. So you need that fan base that are young and want to come, so they can keep coming back, and obviously if they bring their friends as well, it's amazing. And the support is growing, and for the fans that go away as well to all these teams down south, it's amazing, and they sacrifice so much for us just to come and watch. So it's important that we want to play as well as we can.
Yeah, so of course I'll be going to the Hartlepool away match. I'm pretty sure that's a derby as well.
Yeah.
So, are you hoping to be Hartlepool?
Of course, we want to win every game, no matter what, whether it's a derby or not. We want to win every game, and we want to win the games comfortably. Will it be a derby? It should be a really good game, and one I'm really excited for.
So, a couple more. So, how many goals and assists would you be happy with this season?
Someone's got 7 goals last year, so I won at least 10. And then I got 18 assists, so I think I won 20 assists. 10 goals, 20 assists.
So, do you know when you got decent goals?
In a couple, yeah.
Do you know when? A couple more. Do you know what you last sports TV?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of them.
Yeah, there's quite a few now, isn't there?
So what does it mean to the club that you've got all these people who enjoy making these videos, watching the club?
Yeah, no, it's important. They're the ones that kind of showcase the club in the best way as a fan point of view. Obviously, there's Campbell as well, who's done it for a few years now, and with the younger selves doing it. It's a really popular thing nowadays, and something that kind of keeps you coming to the games as well, and it's something to focus on, not just enjoying the game. It is good to see that you're putting it in your own light, and how it's your experience that's people watch. Yeah, it's something as a fan or a YouTuber, it's growing, and it's really good. But I do like to watch we don't see that in the pictures, we don't see the fans' perspective, so those videos are nice to watch.
Yeah, so do you watch the videos as well? Have you seen Live Channel before?
Yeah, I've seen a few.
You watch the videos?
Just in case you're saying anything.
You watch the videos?
I watched a few of them.
Thanks for that. Yeah, so far pre-season, who have you been most impressed with in terms of like attitude and dressing room or on the pitch?
I couldn't probably single anyone out. I think just as a team we've been really, really good. Every single one of us has bought into what Mike wants, and you can see that and the results have been really, really good. So no, I couldn't single anyone out, but I think I'd just say all of us.
Yeah, so of course there's been quite a few trialists, a lot of them have been really impressing me. So what sort of trialists have you been impressed with?
No, I know I won't say names, but again, all of them have been amazing. They've all contributed, and it's hard to be on trial with a club, and it's something that's pretty daunting. So for them all to come in and do so well, I think it's good too.
Yeah. Adam.
Right.
Jumping straight in.
Yeah, jump in.
Come on, Adam. Right, Adam.
I'm good, mate. How are you?
Yeah.
Do you want to take over?
Yeah, I'll
leave
do
him
it.
with it. Take him back to the. Thanks, Archie. See you, mate.
So, Adam, are you alright?
I am very well, thank you. Very well. How are you?
Quite good. Good match last night.
Yes, the boys were playing very well. Obviously, it's the first time we've played sort of an opposition at a similar standard to ourselves in terms of League Two. That's obviously where the club want to be next season. So it was a good test, and obviously the boys come through with flying colours. So no, it was a good start, and obviously close to the season now, so confidence is building.
Yeah. So, what has been your favourite goal you scored in your career?
In my whole career, probably I scored once for Notts County away at Portsmouth. Favourite goal, and then in terms of my most favourite Gateshead goal is probably the farce of Celtic at home one, because it won me goal of the season, and I love when I win a trophy like that. So yeah, probably Gateshead's farce of Celtic at home.
Yeah. So, of course, you used to play for Newcastle. What does it mean to the club financially? Of course, we paid them in pre-season. Of course, Newcastle gave all the money from the ticket sales. So, what does it mean financially for the club?
It's massive. I think it can't be overestimated how much it means to the club. I think it's well documented that the club has a small budget for this level, and that's because of the sheer size of other clubs in this league. It's very hard for us to compete. So when you get a local club as big as Newcastle, with all the hysteria that's going on with the new investment and how well they're doing, for them to come and to bring so many fans, and then obviously to do the kind gesture of letting us keep the gate money as well, it's massive, and it's going to really help us kick on this season, and like I say, we're all aiming for a successful year, and that'll go a long way to help us do that.
So, who inspires you to play football, want to play football?
I think family-wise, we've always been into football. So I think obviously my parents are a massive influence on my life. They've took me to games, they've took me to training, they've stood in the rain. So they're a massive influence, of course they are. But then I think away from family life, I was a massive Newcastle fan growing up, so I was watching them when Shearer was there. So I think naturally anyone who's sort of around my age, growing up on watching Alan Shearer playing for Newcastle when we were in the Champions League and we had Sir Bobby Robson as manager, I think that he's got to be an inspiration to those Newcastle fans, especially around my age group.
Yeah. So, what is your aim to achieve this year?
Promotion. I think it's been documented on a couple of lads' interviews so far this pre-season. Ed did one just the other day. Yeah. We've had meetings with the group as a squad, with the coaching staff, with the players. Obviously, we see the lads in training all the time. We know how good this group is. If we can have another year in terms of keeping everyone injury-free like we did in the year we won the National North, there's no reason why this squad of players can't go on to get promotion from this league. So that's definitely the aim.
So, what do you love about Gateshead?
I love doing things like this. I love how close the fans are with the players. It's a community club. It's been well documented. I think Buster talks about it all the time about how big this is for the community. And I love how close knit we are. I think obviously you see Newcastle come the other day and their players come in and they get the bus and it lands on the track and they walk straight in. And I understand because of the profile of the players, it's difficult for them to interact the way that we do. But I think at this level and at this club, it's really pushed that we bring the fans as close as we can and we inspire the next generation, people like yourselves, to come and if not play football, then to come and support the lads, and it means a lot to us. So I think the more that we can do that and the more that we can build on things like that, the greater it is for the club.
So, Greg said he doesn't know much about this, but do you know who dresses the worst and best at the club?
Oh, right then. So, yes, Elliot Forbes and Marcus Denanga, they fight each other for the worst dress sense in the club by miles. So if you're ever unfortunate enough to be outside the stadium after training and you see Elliot come out after his shower or Marcus, you'll know exactly what I mean by that. Best dressed is a tricky one, probably Carl Magny. I think he's got a lot of class about him and I think he dresses really well, yeah. So definitely Marcus and Elliot for the worst, and I'll go Mags as a vote for my best dressed.
Well, Greg said Lewis Knight was the worst dressed.
Well, yes, he did get that award on one night out that we had. He did come out in his pyjamas, but that's a one-off, so I'm going to let Knighty have that one. It's a one-off, whereas Marcus and Elliot, they tend to always wear bad clothes, so yeah, I'll vote for them.
Yeah, so of course Lewis Knight now and Lewis Barry.
Yeah.
Do you think he has a good future at Gateshead?
Yes, I do. I think last season he was very unlucky with injuries. I think obviously we saw him get injured in pre-season last year, and it was a really bad injury. He's worked really hard to get himself back into a position where he can get back out onto the pitch. I think he come back a couple of times last season when he was desperate to play and help the boys in a time that we needed him, and it set him back injury-wise. And now he's, like you say, he's worked hard over the summer. He's worked really hard on pre-season. He's got himself into a position where now he just needs regular game time, and hopefully he can get that applied. And if he can get back to anywhere near the form he was at when he was at Bradford Park Avenue or when he was at Notts County, when he comes back in January, he'll be a real asset for this club. Yeah,
so I was speaking to some Shields players, Matt interviewed them a couple of days ago when I was at the, I don't know who got playing, I forgot, but Olley Thompson was there as well. I interviewed a couple of players and they were saying that he's got a good manager and staff around him at Live.
Yeah, he does, yeah. Obviously Graham Fenton used to be at Southfield, so they'll know him well. And obviously I used to play with John Shaw when he was here when I first came on loan at Gateshead. So he's got, obviously Shawsy was a great, I know he's played centre half and he's played up front, but when he was up front he was absolutely brilliant, and Lewis will learn a lot from him because he's got that experience and he's got that knowledge that he wants to give. And Fence, I've never met anyone who speaks badly about him, so I know that they'll give him that platform where he can really impress. He'll set the team up strong and try and catch people on the counter-attack, and that suits Knighty's game because he's really, really quick and he's good at playing on the shoulders. And then once he gets a chance, he's similar to Paul Blackett in terms of when he gets a chance, he more often than not finishes it. So, no, I think they've found a good fit for him, and hopefully he'll get a good run of games from now until January and come back and really help Gateshead.
So, what is your most memorable moment as a Gateshead player?
The most memorable moment as a Gateshead player would have to be, and it sounds daft because I was injured so I didn't play in the game, but Chorley away in the season that we won the National North. I think that was just such a special day. There were so many emotions. The fans on the pitch, like you see the people who have suffered and who have been at the club for so long and supported it through all the troubles that it had a few years ago. And then you're on the pitch and you're seeing people cry and you're seeing the emotions of it all. And obviously from a personal point of view, all the hard work that's gone into that season, all the hours that you've been training, the hard work you've put in, the hours you've travelled to games, all things like that. I think that's definitely the highlight. It's obviously the first league title I've ever won, first trophy I've ever won, the only trophy I've ever won, and it's a moment that will live long in my memory because it was just the culmination of such a good season, and it was exactly what we deserved. And the club's halfway where it deserves to be right now, and we want to try and get to the EFL for the first time, and if we can do that this season, that'd be absolutely amazing.
So, who are you most looking forward to playing next season?
The first club that comes to my mind is Hartlepool. I think that's going to be one of those games that's going to be a really special one to look forward to. And then when you think about it being the second game of the season, more likely their first home game of the season, the atmosphere should be really good. I think we'll take a lot of fans down there. And yeah, exactly. So I think there'll be a lot of people in the same boat, and I think the atmosphere is going to be really good. And I think we're going to have a real good chance of sort of setting our stall out, seeing exactly where we are in terms of the first couple of games of the season are really difficult against really difficult teams who will expect to be up and around the playoffs as well, and if not fighting for the league. So I think it's going to be a great test to see where we are as a club, and yeah, I think that's the one that I'm most looking forward to.
Yeah, so of course the tactics have changed a lot this pre-season compared to last season. You play a lot more attacking, as I said, like talk to you all about.
Yeah. No, it is, yeah. I think last season we kind of nailed down the concepts of keeping the ball and patterns of play and stuff, whereas this year we've really got that impetus on trying to hurt teams and trying to go forward, and I think we saw that in the games that obviously Heading we scored 1, and after that we scored 2 against Sunderland, 2 against Newcastle, 6 against Middlesbrough, 1.5 again, 1 in 1 half against Dunstan, and then obviously 2 last night against the League 2 opposition. So I think you can see that we've got that foundation now that we've built last season, and now it's trying to improve on that and trying to get the lads in the more attacking positions and then show them what they can do. And obviously if we can keep building on that and build the relationships with the new players, I think it's going to go well.
So who have you been most impressed with this pre-season in terms of maybe players?
I think obviously new boys, they've all done really well. I think they've all fit in really nicely. But I think obviously you're looking at people like Connor Panny and you're looking at Olley Thompson, and I think those lads have really come in and they've shown that they've listened to what happened last season, to what we're trying to do. They're interested in learning from more experienced players, and then they're obviously putting it out there on the pitch as well. And I think it's shown. Obviously Connor is playing really well, and Olley come on yesterday and really changed the game. So I think when you're looking at people like that, I think it's a great sign for the future of the football club, and yeah, I'm really excited to see how they get on when the league starts.
Yeah, so what made you want to join the Gateshead in the first place?
There's a lot of reasons, to be honest. I think obviously I was at Darlington before I signed here, so I was back up at home anyway, and I wanted to stay in the North East because it's a big part of like being around friends and family is a really important thing for me. So this opportunity managed to help me to stay in the North East of England, but then also I was going back to a full-time basis. I know Michael very well from my time at Newcastle, and I had a meeting with him, and it was just kind of everything that he wanted from a player was exactly what I could give. So I just knew it was going to be a good fit, and obviously the ambition at that time was to get the club promoted from the National North to the National League, and that was a big point for me as well. So I think when you added it all together, it just seemed to fit perfectly. And then obviously, like I say, we had the successful season in the National North, and I managed to get the promoted. So yeah, in terms of hindsight, it all kind of worked out really well.
Yeah. So how many goals and assists would you be having with this season?
Yeah, I'd say I'm not one who normally sets myself targets like that. But if you're going to put me on the spot, I think it has to be double figures for both. I always say I start with the first goal, then I go for 5 goals, then I go for 10 goals, and it kind of builds from there. But I think if I ever finished a season with not having double-figure goals and double-figure assists, I'd be very disappointed. So I think that, from an initial standpoint, I'd say as long as it's double figures and both, I'd be happy.
So, do you know any other YouTubers?
Well, I know there's a few lads who do a bit, but I've not been. I think yours is the first channel that I've actually been on. So yeah, obviously there's quite a few, and obviously YouTube's getting more and more popular now. So I think more and more crop up. So I think Freddie does one, doesn't he? And I think I've spoken to Freddie a couple of times on Instagram and stuff, but I think yours is the first channel that I've actually been on. Obviously sometimes we watch Campbell's videos when he puts the clips on after games and things like that. So yeah, it's a good network, and like I say, if we can, like I say, you've got a channel and you've got a club that are happy to come and do interviews with you and try and boost you as much as you can. So if there's anything that we can do to help, and do keep reaching out to us, and we'll get more and more boys on it.
So how do you feel walking onto that pitch at Wembley?
Yeah, it was surreal. It's something that I've always dreamt of. I think anyone as a kid always thinks about obviously playing for their boyhood club that they've always supported, and then obviously the next step is to be on that pitch at Wembley. So we went the night before and we had a little look around and saw the actual stadium and how big it was. And then you walk out onto the pitch on a match day and it's all excitement, it's nervousness, it's anticipation, you're seeing your family, you're seeing your friends, and it all builds up, and it was an absolutely great day. Obviously, apart from the result, it was something that we desperately wanted to give the club, was the first FA trophy. And it still hurts me that we weren't able to get the win, to be honest. But I think when I look back, maybe not now, like you say, it still hurts, but maybe in 5-10 years' time, I'll understand just how important that day was for me as a person. But yeah, seeing, like, when you look at your family and you see the pride on their faces, it's immense, and it does make me really proud to say that I was able to play there. But it still very much hurts that we didn't win the trophy.
Yeah, of course, I was there luckily, because I don't think as many people that wanted to go got there, because some sort of thing happened with the train.
Yeah, it was rail strikes, wasn't it? It was a nightmare for people. But yeah, no, it was a little bit of a nightmare logistically for people to get to. But yeah, I think the people who did get there, we showed Gateshead in what we offer and what we try and do. But unfortunately, on the day, Halifax were a better team.
Yeah, so well, thank you, Adam, for this.
Perfect. No, I appreciate it. Thanks for coming in.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Top man. Come here. See you later, boys.
Sorry, mate. You ready?
Do you know when you see my channel, was this before you heard about this, or was it?
No, it was before. It could say on my YouTube thing now, but you know when you go on the homepage, different like gated YouTube channels pop up on my thing. So yeah, no, I've seen a couple of your videos now. But yeah, if you need anything like retweeting and things like that, then just tag the boys in it. But if you like, say if you ever want to come down and do interviews, if you want to speak to the new boys or the younger lads or whatever, then just let me or Greg or Jack know, and we'll do something like what we've just done there.
I will follow us back on Twitter and give a message.
No, I will, no problem.
But we're over in the college doing a bit of warm up and stuff now, so I'm gonna have to shoot. But if there's anything that you want to come back in, or if you want anyone else to do an interview, then
Well, at you.
don't be daft.
Yeah.
Follow us on Twitter and I'll give you a message.
Thank you.
No problem. Please.
Well, that was crazy. So, Adam's going to give us a follow back on Twitter, and he said if I ever need anyone to interview, to let him know. So, in that case, guys, get in the comments who you want to see me interview next. I'll try at least, but get commenting who you guys want me to try to interview. But that was mental. But thank you guys for watching. If you did enjoy this video, get down there, like and subscribe, and goodbye.